Dogs because I love animals. Most people know I do. Got a bunch of deer at my property. I've had everything from monkeys, zebras, lions, camels, llamas. Animals are completely uncritical. They're a perfect environment for a happy person. But I went to check on, and the guy said, I got some $10,000 dogs and 5,000 dogs. 5,000. I said, you got to be kidding. I said, what about that? He said, I got them for $350. He said, actually, I got one I'll give you for free. Now, the free dog was as good looking as the $10,000 dog. I said, what in the world is there difference? He said, well, the $10,000 dog will follow your instructions. The free dog will do what he wants. Your willingness to obey an instruction decides how valuable you are to a boss, to God, to the world, to people around you. There is no place in the world for the unpredictable. Are you with me? Obedience proves trust. Now, if I was sitting at your table there at your house tonight, and you said, Mike, what is your greatest discovery about God? I'd tell you something that's so simple, but it's the greatest discovery I've ever made about God. God's only pain is to be doubted. His only pleasure is to be believed. God has an obsession to be believed. He will do anything for somebody who believes him. This explains why all of his instructions to us are so illogical. Nothing God tells you makes sense to your brain. A man's blind. Jesus, our son of David, have mercy on me. Spit, spit, clay, clay. Puts it on his eyes. Now walk 2 miles to the pool of Siloam and wash it off. Now, if I'd have been that blind man, I'd said, my pastor uses olive oil. Where's the olive oil? I don't want this clay and spit. Walk around the walls of Jericho 7 days in a row and 7 times on Sunday. Obedience proves trust. That's when God gives you an instruction. It'll circumvent your logic. Logic creates sequence and order, but your faith produces miracles. Well, I don't understand why God would. Of course you wouldn't. God would never shrink his plans to fit our brain. He gives you an instruction because obedience is the only documentation that you believe him. That you believe him. When a father looks at his little girl and says, baby, jump. Come on, daddy will catch you. And she says, okay, and she jumps. Why? She trusts him. She trusts him. God's only pleasure is to be believed. Without faith, confidence in God, it's impossible to please God. What does that mean, Mike? Until God is believed, he feels no pleasure. The only moments that God feels any pleasure in being with God is when he's believed. So he arranges scenarios that seem absurd. And then he'll give you an instruction that is ridiculous. And your willingness to follow that instruction puts the miracle. Do you remember last time I was here talking to you, Brother David, about the $15 seed, the little $50 seed? I had a woman one night. She says, I don't understand that little $58 seed that you tell everybody to sow. I said, I know it's crazy. It's crazy to me too. She says, but I need a miracle. Well, you can't buy a miracle with money, but you can sow a seed and call it a harvest from it. God had a son, but he wanted a family, so he planted his son to create a family. That's the one man said, well, I don't believe in doing something to get something back for it. I looked at him, I said, so your weekly paycheck is always a shock to you. I tell you, the ignorant are so expressive, aren't they? She said, my ex-husband has not paid child support for 15 years. We've been divorced, never given me a penny. I said, you've been divorced 15 years? Yeah. I said, write $58 in the left-hand corner. I said, just put child support. 14 days later, she gets a check from him. First check in 15 years for $65,000. Obedience proves trust. Obedience proves trust. I sent my mother and daddy a little cassette. Said, if you never do it again, plant a $58 seed. Count on 15 days and see what will happen. My mother called me. She said, baby, I feel God on that tape. And me and Dad's going to plant $50. Yes, that's wonderful, Mom. She said, we need a miracle. I knew they did. Double bypass surgery, $48,000 doctor bill, St. Luke's Episcopal Hospital, Houston, Texas. They emptied their savings, got down to $22,000, I think $622, something like that. Not a penny of medical insurance. My mother calls me next week. She said, baby, it's been a week since I sent that check, and I haven't seen any miracles. I said, my Lord, Mom, it's been a week. Give God a chance. Seed, time, and harvest. Time is part of the equation. The willingness to wait is the proof of trust. She calls me the second week, Brother David. She says, was I supposed to write covenant blessing on the left-hand side of the check or the right-hand side of the check? She said, nothing's happening. Third week she called me. There were 3 messages on my voicemail. Called home. My dad got on the line and he said, son, I can't hardly catch my breath. He said, we just got off the phone with St. Luke's Episcopal Hospital. They sent us a letter and they said, your bill, $26,622 just came to our attention. Once in a while we want to do something good for somebody. We've decided to mark your bill paid in full. That's obedience. Write this down. 8. Pursuit proves passion. Pursuit proves passion.